Hey, it's Liz from No Trace. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 different ways to finish the seams on your serger. So let's go. Now the first tip I'm going to show you is how to finish the seam at the beginning of a line of stitches. So what you want to do is just get your fabric under your presser foot towards your needles, and then you're just going to stitch straight down. And as the edge of your fabric gets close to your needles, you're just going to slow down and try to get a couple of stitches on your fabric. And you can even use your hand wheel if you want. And then with the needles in the up position, you want your needles up, and then you lift your presser foot up, reach around, grab your thread tails, and give it a gentle tug, and then pull it back under the presser foot and under the blade so that now you have your thread tail ready to get caught in your stitches. And then lower your presser foot and then just stitch right on down. Now I'm going to show you how to finish your seam when you get to the end of a line of stitches that you're doing. So just go on down. And slow down as you get near the edge of your fabric. And then when you're pretty much right at the edge, get your needles again in the up position and lift your presser foot and then gently tug your fabric so it comes off of all of those little needles and fingers down there. And now you flip it so that the right side of your fabric is face down on your machine. And then you want to tuck it so that the back edge is ready to be right under those needles again. And I often will give a little tug to the threads up top. If this is going to be a visible seam, like on one of my napkin projects, I'll gently tug on the threads so that I don't have any big loops, and then I lower the presser foot in a way so that the fabric is the stitches that I previously made are not going to go under my blade. They're going to go right alongside the blade. Okay, so you don't want your fabric here. You want it right alongside the blade. And now you're just going to stitch back over your stitches with, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of stitches. Okay, and after I've sewn back over, what I do is I get those needles back in the up position, lift the presser foot, and I just turn the whole project off to the side and give it a gentle tug. And then I lower the presser foot and do a straight stitch to get a nice long tail that comes straight off the project. So that my tail is straight off the project. And now you can just clip your tail with your scissors. And now your stitches have been reinforced at the end and at the beginning of your straight line of stitches so that there's very little chance that these are going to come out. The next way I'm going to show you, you want to leave your thread tail long at the start and then just stitch straight down your project. And when you get to the end, you're just going to go straight off the end and get a nice long tail and trim it so that now your project has 2 tails on each end. Then you want to take an embroidery needle or a tapestry needle, a needle that has a really large opening in the top, and you want to get your thread tails inside that opening. And what I like to do is gently tug on the thread tails, fold it like that, so you're getting a kind of a little pinch, and then push it into the needle. And this is a little bit tricky, but definitely doable. Make sure you get all those threads inside. And then you're just going to weave your needle back inside your row of stitches. And I generally try to go pretty much all the length of the needle if I can. See, the needle is under there, and then just pull it out. And make sure you got all those threads out. And then you're ready to trim the tail. And now this tail is super secure back inside this row of stitches. And then you just repeat that on the other end. Another way to finish the tail is to tie a knot in the tail right at the end of your seam. So to do that, you want to gently tug on your thread tails so you get out any extra length or loops that are there, and then just go ahead and tie a little knot. And this is something that I would do if no one was going to see this seam. And then just get the knot as close to the fabric as you can, and then trim the fabric, or trim the thread rather, right next to that knot. So now your threads are super secure, but you do have a little bit of a visible knot. So this will work if this row of stitches is not going to be visible. The next way to secure your stitches would apply if you're going to go all the way around something like, let's say you're making a napkin or a handkerchief. So what you want to do is stitch all the way around your project. So I've stitched almost all the way around the project, and I'm getting back to where I started, to my original tails in the original row of stitches. So you're going to keep going straight towards this edge and just cut that tail off. And now you want to stitch right up to the edge of your fabric, okay? So you're not quite going off the fabric. Now you want to put your needles in the highest position, lift your presser foot, and gently pull the fabric off of the little fingers and needles and things down there. So I'm pulling it off and I'm bringing it back around as if I were going to stitch this row of stitches again. So get your fabric right under your needles, get the edge of your fabric right under your needles, so as though you're doing this whole row over again. And then I like to gently tug on the threads from up above, which you can't see, but just tug on each thread from up above gently, and that helps get rid of any loops in your threads if this is a visible seam. Then you also want to make sure that the edge of your fabric is not going to go under your blade. So if you have an easy way to lower your blade, you could do that. I don't have an easy way to do that. So what I do is I just keep a close eye on this edge and make sure it's not going to go under the blade. It's going to go right next to the blade. Then I lower the presser foot, and then I'm going to do about a ½ inch of stitches on top of my original line of stitches. And then I lift the needles up, and then I lift the presser foot up, and then I pull the whole piece off again, off of all of those needles and fingers, lower the presser foot, and then I'm going to create a tail of stitches just straight off the side of the project. Just like that. And then go ahead and trim. I hope that one of these 5 different ways is helpful for you, and I'd love to hear from you. So leave a comment below if this video was helpful for you, or if you're already using one of these techniques. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the No Trace channel to get notified about all of our new videos. We put out a new video every single week, so I'll see you again very soon. Bye!